What are the scariest things about the St. Louis Cardinals as we move towards 2026? Get your popcorn ready. This is Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I am JD Hafron, also known as Freddy Krueger today, former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis, and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. A big thank you going out to our everydayers who have been here with us the entire season and now into the off season. Of course, if you're new to the show, welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. I'm not normally dressed like this if you're watching on YouTube, being that it is Halloween, though. My favorite holiday. I got to dress up. So doing the Freddy Krueger thing here today. Hope you enjoy the content. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So download the app today. Happy Halloween, everybody. Enjoy the candy. Enjoy the costumes tonight. We got World Series. Game 6 is tonight in Toronto, so that's pretty cool. Can the Blue Jays finish off the upset over LA? Today's episode, we're going to go over some of the new staff decisions that have been made over the last 24, 48 hours that have been announced. I know people raised an eyebrow or two, or maybe even a fist in anger and shook it at the sky when you found out about Yadier Molina. But we will start today with something that's kind of in the theme of Halloween here. Scary things about the Cardinals' upcoming 2026 season. Now, before we get into it, obviously things are going to change as we move on into the offseason. Things will get picked up where, like, free agents, trades, things are going to change. Things are going to happen. But as of right now, here on October 31st, these are the things that I'm a little scared about. Now, there are plenty of areas that the Cardinals need improvements. After their second losing season in the past 3 years, we went over some of those concerns and questions in yesterday's episode with Jeff Jones. Big shout out to Jeff Jones for joining us yesterday. A lot of great information in yesterday's episode. He was fantastic. So if you missed it, make sure you go back and check it out. So I guess we should start with what I believe is the scariest thing. At least it sends shivers down my spine thinking about the upcoming season. To me, it's the number one thing. It's the starting rotation. I have, and I will always believe that good pitching can win you more games than a good offense and subpar pitching. So as we head into 2026, the Cardinals have some decisions to make and not a whole lot of strong options at their disposal right now because some of the guys that we were hoping would be ready by 2026 have dealt with injuries. But let's start with Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray, who has been the best pitcher on this pitching staff in the last 2 seasons, could be traded to a contender. They find something that works out for both the team and Sonny, then they're going to probably pounce on that. He's got significant salary next year, final year of the contract. There's also the team option for the season after that, but Sonny wants to play for a contender. The Cardinals aren't where they thought he was going to, or aren't where he thought they were going to be at this point, and voiced those concerns at the end of the season last year. Losing him would make this an even bigger issue because as of now, you don't really have anyone that at least I would consider a top of the rotation type of guy. Heck, some fans don't think Sonny Gray is a top of the rotation type of guy, which is certainly debatable. They want better than him, and that's fine. I mean, I wish we had a starting rotation like the Dodgers. I wish that was something that was possible, but we don't have that. So Sonny Gray, if he's still here, which is a possibility as well, great. If he's not, it makes the rotation look a lot more frightening, right? Because you have Matthew Liberatore, former first-round pick, who is now in year 2 of being a starter. You hope he'll progress. You hope he'll stay healthy. We know how it is with pitchers. You just never know. Had those fatigue issues last year, but first year being a full-time starter, almost kind of expected that he was going to wear down a little bit. But there were some good things to build off of. It's not like he was a bag of hot garbage, but he went 8-12, 4.21 ERA. The ERA plus was at 97. Remember, league average is 100, so that's a tick below league average. So you hope that he will make the jump and be better than that next year. Michael McGreevy, another former first-round pick. He was like a breath of fresh air, right? You had been through the Eric Fetty stuff. You'd seen what Pallante was doing. You had your issues with Mikolas. And when McGreevy came on board, it was like, all right, this is a new face, a new kid, former first-round pick. We saw a little bit of him in 2023 or 2024. I get all my years confused. 2024. So we've been kind of itching to have him back up on the big league club. And then when he came up, yeah, he went through a couple of tough games. All rookies do normally, unless you're Trey Savage. But I think we all like his makeup, right? You know, we kind of like the type of dude he is on the mound. And he just kind of gave you a confident feeling when he was the starting pitcher. You just felt like he had a better chance to win than most of the guys in the rotation. So he ended up winning more than a lot of them. He went 8-4 with a 4.42 ERA in 16 starts. The ERA plus, a surprising 93. So that's below average as well. You hope he can improve on that. That would be great. But he's also, you know, one of those guys that's in the mold of a Miles Mikolas and Eric Fetty type of guy where it's not about strikeouts. It's not about, you know, swing and miss. It's about weak contact, putting the ball in play, making them hit the ball to get out. It's not about strikeouts with Michael McGreevy. So that's one thing that, you know, we worry because we've seen a lot of those guys come through and you're like, oh, can we just get somebody who has some swing and miss? And McGreevy's not that guy. He's not built that way. So, and then talk about scary, the Andre Pallante 2025 season. That was one we would like to forget altogether. 31 starts, which if we're being positive, 31 starts, that's great, right? 31 starts with Michael McGreevy, any starter that you can get for 31 starts, that's positive. That means they were healthy. But he had a 6-15 record. He had a 5.31 ERA. His ERA plus was 77. Having to start somebody like that 31 times is a problem. Almost everything about his season was disappointing. Almost every category went in the wrong direction for Andre Pallante from 24 to 2025. His hits per 9, up. Home runs per 9, up. Walks were about the same, which is still an issue. Strikeouts per 9 went down. It was, if I were to compare it to a scary movie, it wouldn't even be in the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Streets or the Michael Myers or the Friday the 13th. It's worse than that. It's like Terrifier style, where it's just blood and guts and gore and gross. It was gruesome. It was gruesome last year. Now, does 1 year wipe out any of the good that he did in the first 3 seasons with the Cardinals when he was a reliever and then he came into the rotation? Does it wipe all of that out? In some fans' eyes, yes. Like they were over it. Had his chance, laid an egg, move on, get him out of here, find somebody better. We'll see. I mean, there's probably going to be a role for Andre Pallante next year, whether it's in the rotation or in the bullpen. They'll try to figure something out because he's got some arm talent, let's be honest. But last year was really, really bad. But that is it. As far as starters from this past year, like guys who made starts, like that's it. That's still around. The Cardinals were very lucky in the fact that most of the year, their starters answered the bell every 5th day. Problem was a lot of those starts weren't very good. The only person still around that actually made a start and is under contract still is Kyle Leahy, who, as we've talked about numerous times, will have a shot at a rotation spot. They're going to stretch him out, but there's no guarantee that he's going to win that spot. And if he doesn't, back to the bullpen he goes. But they would love to see if that's something that they can pull out of him and have him be a part of this rotation. Jeff Jones told us yesterday that he expects the Cardinals to sign a couple of starters. He absolutely does. Thinks that they're going to get into the free agent market and sign a couple of guys. John Denton, who covers the team for MLB.com, he kind of reiterated that thought in his newsletter that he put out, and he also listed some names that could be in their price range. So we're going to discuss those next. I have to take the Freddy Krueger glove off. I'm right-handed, and Freddy Krueger is too. and I can't use the mouse with the Freddy Krueger glove on. So apologies that the whole costume here is not going to be as cool as it was just a little bit ago, but just forgive me. Okay. We're going to go through those starters that John Denton mentions. We'll do that next year on Locked On Cardinals. All right, now we got to take the holiday thing off real quick because there we go. All right, now we're set. This episode brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I would make decisions each and every day. I made a decision to wear a claw on my right hand a few moments ago. But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid, which is great. We like money. Don't miss out on the excitement of this sports season, whether you're following the NFL, the NBA, or both. Heck, both, which is something I do. There's no better time to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it yet, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. You just pick more or less on at least two player stats. And if you get them right, you win. Pretty easy, right? It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere Prize Picks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. I'm a big sports fan. I watch all of the sports. I play fantasy, everything, and I've been using Prize Picks for both football and NBA. It just makes the games more exciting. The new Stacks feature is a game changer for both NFL and NBA. I get Nikola Jokic anytime I can because you can now pick more on his points, the threes, the assists, rebounds. When you get a guy who can do everything, utilize it. Put him in the same lineup. Plus, if one of your player leaves the game early with an injury reboot will save your lineup from a loss, which is always great. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB, one word, for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day. If you enjoy daily Cardinals content, you can follow the podcast on X at @LO_Cardinals. We're also available on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Talking about John Denton's newsletter, which listed some of the offseason things that the Cardinals are going to be dealing with this year. He goes into, arbitration. He goes into the 40-man roster, people who need to be added. Also mentioned some free agency names, which is what I want to talk about now. We touched on it a little bit yesterday with Jeff Jones. Again, if you did not see that episode, get over there and check it out because it's good. Great information coming from Jeff Jones, who covers the Cardinals. But here's what John Denton said about the Cardinals and free agency. Says, will they be active in free agency? Active, yes. Aggressive, no. With Mikolas likely gone, Pallante and Quinn Matthews coming off shaky seasons, and Roby, talking about Tekoa Roby, injured, the Cards must pursue pitching to fill out their rotation. Some pitchers who might fit their price range: Zac Gallen, Chris Bassitt, Austin Gomber, or Max Scherzer. Could veteran leaders Andrew Kittredge or Phil Maton return to the bullpen? ? Now, we've talked about Zac Gallen here on the show a couple of times recently, right? Zac is a guy that used to be in the organization, got traded as part of that Marcell Ozuna deal, was very, very good with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Remember, the Marlins shipped him to Arizona after the Cardinals gave him to Miami, and was very, very good for a number of seasons. Starter in the All-Star game not that long ago. And then the last couple of years, things have gone in the wrong direction for Zac. Jeff Jones yesterday, when I brought up Zac Gallen's name, said that he'd be surprised if the Cardinals were going to invest into a multi-year deal with anybody, because the opinion is that Zac Gallen will command 3 to 5 years, somewhere in that vicinity is what somebody will sign him to. So if the Cardinals aren't interested in multi-year deals, kind of wipes him off the board, right? But as I brought up to Jeff yesterday, I was like, well, Chaim Bloom said that if they see somebody that fits the mold of what they want, that they'd be willing to invest. He just said he'd be surprised if that actually happened. But to hear his name mentioned again by John Denton, at least to me, says it's not something out of the realm of possibilities, but I would still say that the chances of landing him are very, very slim. Chris Bassitt is going to be 37 years old next season, currently pitching in the World Series with the Blue Jays, has been pitching well. He's a guy that I've been a fan of since he was with the A's during their Oakland years. He was a late bloomer. So when you see his name and you're like, how the hell is he 37 already? Well, he didn't really get his major league career going until 2019. And he was already 30 at the time. So late bloomer, a guy that I've had interest in for a while. And, was bummed when he went to the Mets. And now he's with Toronto. And the guy's just been kind of a winner, the last few years. So a guy that if I'm the Cardinals, I'm definitely looking at. You mentioned Austin Gomber, who used to be with the Cardinals as well, was a part of that deal to get Nolan Arenado. Massive disappointment in Colorado. Just last season, he was 0-7 with a 7.49 ERA before getting released. Ended up signing a minor league deal with the Chicago Cubs. This is a guy where I'm like, how we use that phrase, low-hanging fruit. Like, that's fruit that's on the grass, bro. Like, I don't know. Come on. This would be a signing that would drive fans bonkers. It would drive me bonkers. We don't need reclamation projects and hope they work out. I need somebody I can rely on. I need somebody steady. Austin Gomber, I know it's Colorado, but he hasn't been good there, and he wasn't even that much better on the road. So it's not like his splits were crazy and he just got his brains beat in when he's pitching at Coors Field. It just wasn't good anywhere. So, no. Last name, Max Scherzer, and as I've said before, this dude loves winning. He loves winning, and at the stage of his career, the only reason I could see him signing with the Cardinals is that if, in his heart, he just wants to put on the birds on the bat, that he wants to sign with the Cardinals, his hometown team, before he retires. Now, as a fan, I would love that. I'm sure you would too, as a fan. Did my stuff go away again? There we go. I need to keep my spooky stuff up there. There we go. I would love it. Who wouldn't want Max Scherzer on their team? I would love having Mad Max here. I think that would be awesome. I think it would be something fun for the fans. I think they would enjoy that. Would Max enjoy that, coming to a team that isn't in a spot right now that they plan on contending next year? They could surprise people. We know that. I mean, he did sign with the Blue Jays, who were 20 games under 500 last year. Now he's in the World Series. So we think the Toronto is supposed to be better than that. But I just feel like I'd expect him to sign with a team that has a better shot at winning than the Cardinals right now. But if he wants to be a Cardinal and he wants to play in St. Louis before he retires, come get some, Mad Max. Let's go. If you want to hear another scary notion, John Denton also says that in this newsletter, Miles Mikolas, a Cardinal since 2018, is the team's lone free agent this offseason. He's been very open to a return, but the club might be ready to move on after 3 forgettable seasons. An all-star in 2018 and 22, Mikolas has been too often victimized by homers and 2 strike hits over the past 3 seasons when he posted ERAs of 4.78, 5.35, and 4.84. However, he has been a very dependable workhorse and made at least 31 starts each of the past 4 seasons. If the Cardinals can't replace him with a younger, more promising pitcher, the club could look to bring Mikolas back on a 1-year deal. Like, come on. Come on. Can we not do better? Can we not do better than Miles Mikolas, Andre Pallante, or Austin Gomber at this point? Like, why does it seem like the Cardinals are like begging for scraps? Like, go get dudes. You can do better than this. It's like the wet blanket that was the Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn signings in 2023 all over again. That's what it would be like if they went down this path. No, stop it. Do better. Are you trying to drive the remaining fans who do come to your games away? Ugh. No, thank you. No, thank you. Be better than that, please. Other scary thoughts for this offseason. What if Nolan, Gorman, and Jordan Walker fall flat again? Where does the extra offense come from? The offensive production from the outfield was awful. Exorcist, green vomit awful last year. And right now, there doesn't appear to be any in-house bats that are ready to help out in any capacity. You've got some prospects. Joshua Baez was obviously a breakout star, but he was a double-A. Chase Davis, former first-round pick, has not had the breakout numbers that you're hoping for by this point, considering he was a college player, and he was also at double-A. So these dudes haven't even produced at Memphis yet, triple-A. So to expect them to do something for you in 2026 seems unlikely, right? Jeff mentioned yesterday that he'd expect them to sign a bat, but again, who are they going to get on a one-year deal that would make that much of an impact? I mean, going through the free agent names, there's not a lot out there. It's genuinely on the shoulders of the guys already in the room, already in the clubhouse to step up. And if they don't, scary, scary stuff once again. We're going to go over the staff announcements because a lot of staff management type of stuff was announced over the last couple days, plus the Yachty news, which made some people sad. So we'll talk all about it next on Locked On Cardinals. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. I have been preaching to you. Austin Reeves from the Lakers. Have I not? Last game, 28 points, 16 assists, game-winning shot. What's not to like? I'm going to give you another name. Ryan Rollins from the Milwaukee Bucks. That's the other guy that you ought to look at. Last 4 games, 21 points, 5.5 assists, almost 3 3-pointers, and 2.5 steals per game. Just loading up the box score. Look into him. Austin Reeves, Ryan Rollins. That's what I want you to look at now. You can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game more exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night until a World Series champion is crowned. Get local analysis, but on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your podcast. This could be the last night, Game 6 of the World Series tonight. So we'll see what happens. Katie Woo from The Athletic updated us on the staff news that the Cardinals announced and the changes that they've made, which we'll have linked in the description and the show notes, just like John Denton stuff. So if you missed it, here's what we got for you. The Cardinals hired Joe Douglas. Here, let's get a picture of Chaim Bloom up there. There he is. The Cardinals hired Joe Douglas to oversee the professional scouting department and Jacob Buffa as a international scouting director. The first 2 significant hires under new president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom. Douglas spent 8 seasons in the Pirates organization and most recently served as the head of player analysis, while Douglas will help facilitate the Cardinals player acquisition process overall. His main responsibilities will involve working with the pro scouting staff under assistant general manager and scouting director Randy Flores. Buffa, a Missouri State University graduate who co-founded a baseball performance facility in St. Louis, spent 7 seasons in the Houston Astros organization. That's going to make some people happy because everybody whines and complains about ever since everybody went to the Astros organization, the Cardinals have sucked and Houston's been good. Here, you get a guy from Houston now. According to the Astros media guide, he was responsible for building the organization's first performance science department and in his recent role oversaw biomechanics, sports sciences, and player development. The front office changes indicate significant operational shifts under Bloom, who has said he'd prefer to add positions rather than subtract. Additional support roles under Douglas and Buffa are expected later this offseason. St. Louis will also add a director of hitting, new assistant hitting and pitching coaches, and a new head trainer. This follows the news from Thursday that, bench coach Daniel Descalso, hitting coach Brant Brown, pitching coach Dusty Blake, first base coach Stubby Clapp, third base coach Pop Warner, and assistant coach John Jay will also return to the organization as their bullpen coaches. And then there was the sad news that Katie mentioned as well. It is not believed that longtime catcher Yadier Molina, who lobbied earlier this month for MLB coaching jobs, will be on the staff next year. But the Cardinals remain open to finding a role for Molina within the organization. So, Jeff spoke on that last part about Yadi at the end of yesterday's episode and how he never really expected him to be a full-time member of the staff either. So if that was something you were hanging your hat on for 2026, then I am sorry to disappoint you. And I'm disappointed too. I think it would be great. I think it'd be really cool to see Yadi back, just like everyone else. But I understand that they have a vision of how they want to retool this thing, and with or without Yadi, they're moving forward with guys that they believe will benefit the organization at this time. So I'm okay with that. You know what you're doing, right? We've given you the keys to the car. Let Bloom use his guys. And then if something does work out between the Cardinals and Yadi, or maybe even Albert Pujols is still out there. I didn't see any updates on him getting the job in San Diego yet. Or any other former players, right? Matt Holliday was in the fold for a hot minute. But, if things work out with any of these people seeking positions in the big leagues, then so be it. Just because Yadi shows up doesn't guarantee winning. It doesn't. Still the same players, still the same pitchers. It's a talent issue for the Cardinals for me. It's not the coaching staff. It's not the manager. It's getting more talent in the organization and developing them, getting them up to the big leagues. That's where I think the problems lie. And Heim's he's doing what he can do. One final nugget from Katie here as far as payroll goes. She says at the end of the season, Cardinals chairman Bill DeWitt Jr. stated he would provide Bloom the resources needed to build a better team. While the organization still has plenty to configure regarding next year's payroll and needs to finalize its television rights deal for 2026, the added position suggests ownership making good on its word. So they're adding resources to hire more staff members. Will they put it into what the roster is going to look like? That's the real question. Again, I wouldn't get my hopes up for any of those big-time free agents to come to town. I agree with Jeff, who was talking about it yesterday, where it just feels like 1 year, 2 year deal type of dudes are what they're more interested in. You've got the threat of the lockout in 2027, and things could change after that. So I get it. I understand it. Doesn't mean we have to like it as fans, right? World Series Game 6, something I do like. The World Series, it's been quite entertaining if you haven't watched any of it. Game 6 tonight. Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Kevin Gausman. So entertaining. Lots of history has been made during this World Series. Personally, no offense to the Dodgers or the Blue Jays, I wanted to go to a Game 7 no matter what. So that's going to upset Toronto fans. But that's what I want to see because it's been so good. I want one game, all the marbles, no holding back. Everybody's available. And let's see who wins. That's what I'm hoping for. Toronto's got all the momentum right now, but Yamamoto has been almost unhittable in his last 2 starts. So we'll see what goes down tonight, but I'm excited to watch it this evening. But I think it'd be cool if we got a Game 7. So give me the Dodgers tonight for my own selfish reasons, right? All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube, help our channel, and love for the Cardinals grow. Like 12 subscribers away from 13,000. Just 12. 12. We know 12 people, don't we? Let's get them in here. Let's get them subscribed, and let's hit that mark. Happy Halloween to all of you. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals. And don't eat too much candy and give yourself a bellyache tonight.